The recognition of the 60th anniversary of the Korean War, which is, in fact, as I understand it, not really a fully resolved war. And here tonight, we are joined by Mr. John White, who is going to speak to that, among other things. Thank you for joining us. John, if you'll state your name and your current rank and serial number.
I'm John White, 60 Pound Ridge Road, commander of the Veterans of Foreign War Post 10,052 in town, and in that role I'm spokesman for the Cheshire Veterans Council, which consists of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion, and the Army Air Force Roundtable. So I want to give you a report on how we, that is the town and the Cheshire Veterans Council, are going to honor Korean War veterans. And this is why. Because in 1950, 60 years ago, America went to war in Korea. Under UN auspices, we defended the South Koreans against the North Koreans and the Chinese communists. For 3 years, American soldiers fought, along with South Korean soldiers and those of several other nations, until a ceasefire agreement was established in July 1953. More than 50,000 Americans died there from combat and other war-related conditions. Others became prisoners of war or were listed as missing in action. 130,000 Americans were wounded there. At the ceasefire, the country was divided along the 38th parallel. American soldiers joined with South Korean soldiers in guarding the border. Today, American soldiers are still there, guarding the uneasy peace. The war in Korea followed on the heels of World War II, which overshadowed it. The Korean War was small compared to World War II. America was tired of conflict at that time. When our boys came home from Korea, they didn't get the major reception and rejoicing which was poured out for the soldiers of World War II. They didn't get the publicity and the parades. And soon, the Korean War became the forgotten war. The World War II generation is leaving us at a rapid rate. The Korean War vets, now in their 70s and 80s, are doing likewise. We, the Veterans Council of Cheshire, feel that no military veteran should go unrecognized for his or her service. Whether they fought in combat or served in a support role away from the battlefield, they have contributed to our national defense in a world hostile to the freedom we enjoy. They should all be honored for their service to America. Therefore, the Cheshire Veterans Council, working with various elements of the town of Cheshire, have created a series of events to publicly honor Cheshire's Korean War vets. On the 20th of this month, the Social Studies Department at Cheshire High School, led by teacher Ralph Zingarella, will host a breakfast for Korean War vets. After breakfast, they will meet with students to discuss their military experience and be interviewed by them. This event was initiated by Mr. Zingarella, and the Cheshire Veterans Council is pleased to help and support it. On the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, May 29th at 11 a.m., we will have a wreath-laying ceremony on the green, as we do every year, but this time we will have 2 speakers who will talk about aspects of the Korean War. They are Army Colonel Ken Gertz, a Korean War vet and a Cheshire resident, and Jerry Brittingham, chairman of the Board of Education and a Marine. I didn't say an ex-Marine because you're never an ex-Marine. But Jerry is no longer in uniform. On Sunday, in the Memorial Day Parade, we will have a float just for Korean War vets to ride. Korean War vets Ray Squire, who's present this evening, and Al Adinolfi are working with Leslie Marinaro. Leslie's not here, but you know her as an alternate member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and whose father is a Korean War vet, are form the committee to make the float, and they will be assisted by local students and Boy Scouts. Next month, on June 10th at 2 p.m., we will have a reception at the Senior Center honoring Korean War vets. The Commissioner of Veterans Affairs for Connecticut, Dr. Linda Schwartz, will speak there. So will Cheshire resident Dr. Bruce Cha, who is president of the Korean American Society of Connecticut. Now, as I said, these events are being conducted jointly with the town. We invite you to join us at the wreath-laying ceremony on Saturday, May 29th at 11 a.m. on the Green, and at the reception on June 10th at 2 p.m. at the Senior Center, to let these senior townspeople, these Korean War veterans, know they are appreciated for what they did so many years ago. As they get closer to making their final roll call, we want to see them honored and remembered, both those who returned alive and those who did not. If you value freedom, please join us to pay respect for those who helped preserve your freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Well said, as always. We're going to move on to the proclamation for the National Police Week. I'm going to come forward with the proclamation.